Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level.
We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
India strikes terrorist sites in Pakistan. Chinese workers protest. Columbia University announces layoffs, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. India announced it attacked terrorist infrastructure in neighboring Pakistan on Wednesday in 2 of its occupied territory, killing at least 1 child and wounding 2 other people in what Pakistan has called a blatant act of war. The Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor, which targeted terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks against India have been planned and directed, the Press Information Bureau of India said in a statement. Our actions have been focused, measured, and non-escalatory in nature, India's Defense Ministry said in a statement. No Pakistan military facilities have been targeted. Pakistan is calling the airstrikes launched by India an act of war, with its military claiming it shot down 5 Indian fighter jets in retaliation. Pakistan has every right to give a robust response to this act of war imposed by India, and a strong response is indeed being given, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif declared. Tensions have soared between the nuclear-armed neighbors since the April attack, in which gunmen killed 26 people, mostly Indian Hindu tourists, in the India-controlled portion of Kashmir. India accuses its neighbor of being behind that attack, which was claimed by a militant group calling itself Kashmir Resistance, that India says is linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba, a disbanded Pakistani militant group. Protests from furious factory workers in China demanding back pay are spreading across the country after President Trump's tariffs on Chinese imports began impacting the communist nation's economy. Unrest has been reported across the country as workers have taken to the streets, protesting unpaid wages and challenging unfair dismissals following the closures of factories squeezed by U.S. tariffs, according to Radio Free Asia. Chinese industry leaders, meanwhile, are extremely anxious about the steep duties, with many telling factories and suppliers to halt or delay supplies. Wang Jin, head of an industry group representing more than 2,000 Chinese merchants, told the Financial Times. At least 16 million jobs across many industries in China are at risk due to President Trump's imposing of a 145% tariff on Chinese imports, according to analysis from Goldman Sachs. It's not easy at the moment, a 26-year-old toy factory worker told the Financial Times. His employer in the Chinese city of Zhejiang mostly sells to the U.S., and management recently forced workers to take 2 weeks off unpaid in the face of the tariffs. In a mostly friendly meeting at the White House yesterday, newly elected Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said that Canada will remain a sovereign country after President Trump repeated his desire for it to become the 51st U.S. state. There are some places that are never for sale. You're sitting in one right now, Carney told Trump, referring to the Oval Office. In response to Carney saying that Canada is not for sale, Trump said to Carney, "Never say never." Earlier in the day, Trump antagonized Canada in a post on Truth Social, but then took a more cordial tone during the in-person meeting, even joking that his rhetoric and trade policies, which are unpopular in Canada, helped Carney and his Liberal Party get elected last month. Despite Carney's protests, there are large areas of Western Canada that have expressed a desire to join the United States in the wake of the Liberal Party's election. Immigration and Customs Enforcement made a high-profile arrest on Monday in Maryland. DHS said in a statement that Joel Armando Mejia Benitez, age 38, is a validated MS-13 gang member from El Salvador who had no visas approved or pending at the moment of his arrest. Benitez was arrested with an Interpol red notice. He first entered the country illegally in 2005 and was deported. He then re-entered our country at an unknown date before he was arrested by HIS Baltimore in 2014. He was issued a notice to appear and released back into Silver Springs, Maryland. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, "An Interpol red notice is put out by the International Legal Group asking to locate and provisionally arrest somebody. It's not considered an international arrest warrant, but it's meant to make sure a person is taken into custody for further legal action," according to Interpol's website. The Red Notice database has over 6,500 individuals. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Tuesday that authorities have made one of the biggest fentanyl busts in U.S. history, with the seizure of 11.5 kilos of the drug, including 3 million pills. Bondi said that members of the Sinaloa cartel were arrested in the operation, and 6 of them were in the U.S. illegally. The leader of the group, Alberto Salazar Amaya, was living in Salem, Oregon, and drugs were being distributed in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona, and in Utah. The Supreme Court has sided with the Trump administration in lifting a lower court's order that paused the Pentagon's transgender military ban. In a short order on Tuesday, the High Court handed the White House a win as Trump seeks to unmake the Biden-era diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. The court stayed a lower court order, allowing the Pentagon policy to take effect. Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson would have denied the administration's appeal and kept the lower court injunction in place. At issue in the suit, Schilling versus United States, is President Donald Trump's January executive order banning transgender military members. The order requires the Department of Defense to update its guidance regarding trans-identifying medical standards for military service and to rescind guidance inconsistent with military readiness. Columbia University said it will cut around 180 staff members Tuesday following the Trump administration's announcement in March that it canceled $400 million in federal grants over the Ivy League school's failure to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitic harassment. Across the research portfolio, we have had to make difficult choices, and unfortunately today nearly 180 of our colleagues who have been working in whole or in part on impacted federal grants will receive notices of non-renewal or termination, Acting Columbia University President Claire Shipman said in a statement. This represents about 20% of the individuals who are funded in some manner by the terminated grants. In the coming weeks and months, we will need to continue to take actions that preserve our financial flexibility and allow us to invest in areas that drive us forward, she added. This is a deeply challenging time across all higher education, and we are attempting to navigate through tremendous ambiguity with precision, which will be imperfect at times. The DOJ wants Google to break up its advertising empire. Following a federal court's ruling that Google operates an illegal ad tech monopoly, the Justice Department requested that the company be forced to sell two major products, its ad exchange and a management platform, as an appropriate remedy. Google, unsurprisingly, asked the judge for a less drastic remedy that would see the company make certain changes to its practices without having to break up its ad business. The judge won't rule until the remedy's trial starts in September. Until then, Google has another thing to dread. The government also wants the tech giant to sell Chrome to remedy its other monopoly in search. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.